Have you ever been curious about a mystery people that live concealed among the breathtaking mountains of Pakistan's northwest? A people whose history remains a mystery, whose customs are as vibrant as the environments they live in, and whose way of life appears to have endured the passage of time. Greetings from the realm of the Kalash, a tribe living in total isolation with incredibly beautiful ladies. The Hindu Kush mountain range, which runs over 800 kilometers along the Pakistan-Afghan border, is home to the Kalash Valleys. The isolation and challenge of reaching these valleys has helped to keep Kalash culture intact and isolated from outside influences. Traveling from the town of Chitral to the Kalash Valleys involves a multi-hour drive along narrow and twisting roads that crisscross the highlands. There are just 3,500 or so Kalash people living in the three valleys, according to estimates. The Kalash culture is even more valuable and vulnerable as a result of this decline. The Kalash embrace a distinct polytheistic religion that combines elements of Greek and Hindu culture with old animistic traditions. They also speak the Kalasha language, which is a member of the Dardic language family. The Kalash people are renowned for their colorful costumes and exuberant celebrations. Kalash women adorn themselves with ornate headgear embellished with feathers, beads, and shells, and they wear long black skirts embroidered with vibrant patterns. The most prominent festivals observed by the community are the winter celebration of Chowmos, the fall festival of Uchao, and the spring festival of Joshi. The Kalash enhance their ties to their community and culture by dancing, singing, and performing age-old traditions during these occasions. The Kalash are not followers of Islam, which is the predominant religion in Pakistan. Rather, they practice animism, a religion that honors the natural world spirits as well as the elements that surround them. Imagine that the Kalash are a remarkable minority in a nation where religion frequently serves as a unifying force, maintaining their traditional values in the face of the predominantly Islamic culture. Pakistan is mostly an Islamic country, yet the Kalash people maintain their devotion to their own traditions, creating a striking contrast in the country's otherwise uniform religious environment. They celebrate and include nature as divine, worshiping the gods of the forests, rivers, and mountains. Their celebrations, which include dances, songs, and rituals that give the valleys a special and uplifting energy, are a colorful testament to this spiritual bond. But why did the Kalash decide to stick to their animistic beliefs in spite of the social mores that have been imposed upon them? Maybe opposition to culture and identity are at play. The Kalash continue to be the custodians of an ancestor's tradition, one that they take great pride in safeguarding and transferring to the next generation, in a world where globalization frequently results in cultural homogenization. Although the Kalash and their non-conformist ideas are occasionally viewed with distrust by Pakistani society, some regard them as a national treasure and a gem of the nation's cultural diversity. They serve as a striking reminder of the diversity and depth of human traditions, as well as an inspiration to individuals who are looking for authenticity in a world that is becoming more and more uniform. Imagine waking up to see your stone and wood home surrounded by lush slopes illuminated by the first rays of sunlight. The Kalash have been shaping their identity for millennia through traditions of simplicity, communion with nature, and respect for the past. Today is the first day of their day. One characteristic of Kalash culture that stands out is their idea of a love-based marriage, which is unusual in an area where arranged weddings are still widespread. In this context, relationships are created by the intangible link of love rather than by social obligations, and hearts are the real architects of destiny. This romantic approach to marriage emphasizes individual autonomy and freedom of choice within the community, while also strengthening familial relationships. The Kalash are also distinguished by gender parity in social and educational spheres. Boys and girls join extracurricular activities, learn in the same classrooms, and attend the same schools. In addition to encouraging equal possibilities, this inclusive approach strengthens the bonds of friendship and collaboration between the sexes, which are firmly anchored in principles of justice and equity. The ability to drink alcohol, which distinguishes the Kalash from most communities in Pakistan where alcohol consumption is forbidden by Islamic law, is arguably the most fascinating feature of their social life. Here, amidst the valleys and mountains, wine is regarded as more than just a luxury. It is a vital component of communal life and a representation of joyous celebration. Speaking of festivities, this folk celebrate a few genuinely spectacular festivals. Mid-May marks the emergence of Chilam Joshi, the first of these festivities, along with the return of spring. This is a season of happiness and rebirth when the Kalash people's hearts are full of hope, and the fields bloom with the promise of a new harvest. The tribe's women are praised and revered during Chalam Joshi when they dance to the sound of traditional music that reverberates across the valleys, being acknowledged for their vigor and strength. Uchao follows, signaling the end of fall. This festival honors the bounty and harvest, providing an opportunity to feast together and give thanks to the earth for its kindness. The Kalash come together in happiness and companionship, laughing and telling stories while savoring the pleasures of the season. However, Chalmos, the most treasured and sacred holiday of the Kalash, begins when winter arrives. This 2-week time of intense devotion and ritual is the culmination of the festive season. The community gathers for prayer and contemplation at Chalmos, paying respect to the ancestors' gods and requesting benefits for the upcoming year. The Bahan, a holy ceremony performed at night by the Kalash spiritual leaders, is the focal point of the Chalmos celebrations. It involves invocation and purification rites, singing, dancing, and going into trance-like states under the glow of crackling bonfires. Participants explore the depths of spirituality and connection with the holy. However, Kalash celebrations are more than just religious rituals. The social and cultural customs that go along with them are also important. The Kalash get together for joyous feasts during Chalmos, sharing regional specialties and engaging in frantic, exuberant dances that go until daybreak. One quite interesting habit that exists here in these mountains is that Kalash women are isolated if they get pregnant or menstrual. When this happens, ladies are guided to a location known as Bashali, a building that serves as a lonely haven apart from the settlement. Women go through a time of isolation here, away from the prying eyes of the community, during which they are not allowed to communicate with their families or other individuals. The mysteries of womanhood are embraced and revered during this period of meditation and thought, and women are viewed as carriers of sacred strength who are linked to the cycles of life and conception. Women are looked after by their family during this time of seclusion. They give them food and support, but they are not allowed to see them until the isolation is over. They are only permitted to reintegrate into society once their menstrual cycle has stopped or their child has been born, having become stronger and more resilient during their time apart. For the Kalash, this practice is an integral aspect of their cultural and spiritual identity, despite the fact that it may seem odd or unintelligible to others. It's a long-standing custom that has its roots in ceremonies and beliefs that outline their relationship with the natural world and the supernatural. Kalash women have always been important not only as caregivers and cultural preservers, but also as active participants in shaping their own futures. Kalash women have a unique flexibility in selecting their mates, despite living in a community where marriage is viewed as the cornerstone of life. Here, partnerships that fulfill Kalash women's soul and essence can be pursued as hearts are not constrained by societal norms, but rather by the pulse of love and affinity. What's possibly even more amazing is how Kalash women see divorce. By actively helping to dissolve marriages that no longer serve their happiness and well-being, Kalash women defy expectations in a culture where divorce is frequently taboo and stigmatized. Here, divorce is viewed as a brave and empowered decision rather than a failure, and women's autonomy and right to self-expression are revered. This autonomy to select and determine is a monument to the fortitude and resiliency of Kalash women, who bravely and resolutely confront life's obstacles. It serves as a potent reminder that women's voices and willpower will never be hushed, even in cultures where they are frequently excluded and mistreated. Speaking of Kalash ladies, their unmatched beauty is something that never fails to impress. Their physical features are sculpted with an air of mystery and charm that captivates the attention of onlookers, as if nature itself had taken extra care in creating them. Their light eyes, which are characteristic of Kalash women and uncommon among Asian tribes, are the essence of their captivating beauty. Their blue and emerald eyes, like pearls, reflect the vibrant hues of the valleys where they live, casting a mystical glow over their features. Every look seems to be a window into the soul, displaying the profundity of their spirituality and the diversity of their cultural background. Their eyes are captivating, but that's not all. Their features are like a work of art from nature, each curve expertly and beautifully crafted. Their hair is as dark as the night, and their complexion is as fair as snow, making for a striking contrast that is both understated and elegant, and their warm, dazzling smiles light up the Kalash Valleys like the first light of day, bringing with them a vibrancy and happiness that permeates the atmosphere. However, Kalash women's beauty is more than just outward features. It is a vivid representation of their identity and culture. We can see remnants of their ancient origins and rich past in their elaborate decorations and vibrant clothing. Every piece of jewelry and needlework is a physical representation of the unwavering spirit of Kalash women and a celebration of life and creativity. Thus, we are reminded of humanity's boundless potential to create and inspire, to transcend time and distance, and to make a lasting impression on the world around us when we stand in front of the beauty of Kalash ladies. Regarding the origin of the remarkable blue eyes and unique attractiveness of Kalash women, numerous ideas exist. Their ancestry is said to begin with Alexander the Great in one of the most fascinating theories. According to legend, around 320 BC, during his legendary conquests, Alexander and his army sought safety in the isolated regions of the Kalash Valleys thousands of years ago. This meeting of the East and the West, of ancient Greece and the Indian subcontinent, gave rise to a relationship that would have a lasting impact on the history and future of the Kalash people. According to history, Alexander's men developed relationships with the native tribes after becoming enthralled with the exoticism and beauty of the places they visited, starting a cultural exchange that would have a long-lasting effect on the area. It is stated that some of these ties produced offspring who carried on the rich cultural and intellectual legacy of their forebears in addition to the unique physical characteristics of the Greek troops. But like with many myths and stories, the truth about the Kalash's origins is still a matter of conjecture and mystery. The history of the Kalash people is as old as the mountains they live in, and it is still a mystery.